I gave my granddaughter my late husband's watch for her birthday. But she refused to accept it, calling it cheap junk. But when she found out the real value of the watch, you won't believe what she did. If you're watching this video, tell me where you're from or what time it is for you. I brought the little velvet box to the restaurant in my coat pocket and kept my hand on it the whole dinner. The place was loud, all brass rails and happy birthdays. Leah sat between her parents, cheeks bright, crown from the party store tilted on her hair. The waiter sang. A sparkler hissed. I smiled when she looked my way. When the cake plates were cleared, I stood. Leah, I said, I've carried this for a long time. I put the box on the table. It belonged to your grandfather, James. He wanted you to have it when you turned 21. I opened the lid. The watch lay there like a small piece of history. Diane leaned forward first. Marcus kept his hands folded. He knew this was not his to touch. Leah's eyes went big, then small. She glanced at her friends in the next booth and crossed her arms. I don't want it, she said. The room didn't go quiet. Birthdays don't give space. Still, my chest went hollow. I kept my voice steady. Think a moment, I said. It's not for tonight. It's for your life. She shook her head. It's old, she said as if the word carried a stain. It's not my style. Grandma, I'm sorry. I can't wear that. Diane reached for Leah's shoulder. Sweetheart, it's a big night. Say thank you. Leah looked back at the box. Then she met my eyes and spoke softly, but she used her full voice, the one she uses when she wants to be heard by more than me. Thank you, she said. But I don't want it. I closed the lid and felt the small click. In my pocket, it felt heavier than when I came in. Later in the car, Diane said, Mom, I'm sorry. And I said, it's fine because this sort of pain is private. Marcus started to speak, thought better of it, and went back to scrolling his phone. Leah walked off with her friends, laughing too loud. She kept glancing at me as she pulled her coat tight. The crown slipped again. She didn't fix it. At home, I placed the box on the kitchen table and made coffee. Old habit. Coffee for shock, for joy, for the places in between. I carry grief with chores. It helps. I took the box upstairs and set it on the bedspread. The portrait of James hung above the dresser. He looked as he did at 40. Steady eyes, soft mouth, a kindness that could cut through a storm. I tried, I said. I couldn't keep my mind from the day I took the watch for appraisal. James had written a letter before he died. 3 sheets in his tidy hand. Keep it safe. Give it to Leah when she's ready. Ready was underlined, not when she asks. And one line that I read again and again. Love gives. Legacy is earned. I'd sat across from the appraiser and watched his glasses slide down his nose as he peered at the mechanism and the clasp. He tapped numbers on a calculator, turned the screen, and said, appraised value is $120,000. I nodded like this information was normal. On the walk home, I looked at every street sign twice, thinking maybe I'd wandered out of our small life. I put the box back in the safe that night. The safe is not hidden. It's a simple black box in the closet, bolted to the floor behind 2 coats that don't fit me anymore. I turned the dial. I listened to the clicks. I checked the door twice, then once more. I always do. On the dresser under James's portrait sits the letter. I read the first paragraph, the one where he says, You'll be tempted to give in to a smile, to a sweet word, to the sight of our Leah in a white dress with a bright future. Then, Vivian, he wrote, promise me you will keep our promise. I put the letter back, not because I was done reading, but because the words were already in me. Downstairs, I rinsed the coffee cup and set it upside down to dry. I looked at the deadbolt and slid it, then tested the door. The neighborhood is quiet, a street in West Philadelphia where maples lean over narrow lawns and the same dog walkers pass by each morning. Tonight, the quiet felt thinner. Morning always gives me tasks. I walked the block and waved to the woman with the red beagle. I cut a flyer off the stop sign, roofers again, and carried it to the bin. I wiped pollen off the mailbox lid. Small things. My hands know them. They steady me. On my way back up the steps, I saw the envelope taped to the door. A neat white square with my name in blue pen. Vivian. The handwriting was careful and a little slanted. Inside was a note on lined paper. Grandma, I'm sorry about last night. I wasn't ready. I want to talk later. Love. Leah. I pressed the paper flat on the table and read it again. Hope is a soft thing. It moves without sound. I called Diane. She left me a note, I said. That's good, she said. She felt bad last night. You know how she is in front of friends. I do. Leah is kind. She is also 21 and careful about her image. She singles out words like they were clothes. She can wear remorse or bravado. It depends on the room. Tell her I'll be home all afternoon, I said. I tidied the living room, dusted the picture frames, straightened the books on the end table. I set the portrait of James just a touch more level and stepped back. The house smelled like lemon oil and coffee. I felt ready to listen. At noon, I made a sandwich and ate it standing up, then rinsed the plate and set it to dry next to last night's cup. The afternoon sun slid a bright line across the kitchen floor. At 2, I checked my phone. At 3, I went upstairs. The closet door was open. The safe sat on the floor like a small dark animal. The coats were parted. The dial was turned. The door hung open. The velvet box was gone. I did not shout. My body went very still. I put my hand on the safe door and closed it gently like I was putting a child to bed. I stood there listening for something that would tell me how much worse this could get. Downstairs, the back door was unlocked. The small window by the sink was cracked open. The trash can had been moved half an inch from its usual place. A drawer sat ajar like a mouth forming a question. I count things by habit. Hinges, locks, the chain on the front door. I counted now. I did not like the sum. I dialed 911 because that is what you do and because my hands needed the steps. Emergency, the operator said. My house has been entered, I said. My voice sounded calm. Something important is missing. She asked me to stay on the line. She asked if I was safe. I said yes. She asked if I could see anyone outside. I said no. She asked for my address. I gave it. She told me to wait for officers on the porch. I set the phone down and felt the old anger, the kind that is not fire, but stone. It sat in my chest and made breathing hard. I looked at James's portrait. I'm sorry, I said. Something moved in the kitchen. Not outside, inside. A small quick sound, then a footstep. I picked up the heaviest thing within reach, the cast iron skillet, and held it down by my thigh. I walked to the kitchen doorway and looked in. The back door stood open 2 inches. A draft stirred the curtains. The sound came again from the pantry. A scuff against the floor. Soft breath. Hello, I said. No answer. A shadow behind the pantry door shifted. I took 2 steps forward and put my free hand on the handle. Come out, I said. Slow. The door opened. Leah stood there with the velvet box clutched against her chest, her shoulders tight, her face wet. For a second, my mind refused the picture. Then everything in me understood at once. The skillet felt stupid in my hand. I set it on the counter. Grandma, she whispered. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. We stared at each other. The hallway clock ticked like a third person trying to interrupt. You called the police, she said. She glanced at the phone on the table. Yes, I said. Her eyes went wide. You have to tell them it was a mistake. I looked at the box. Were you going to tell me? I asked. I was going to bring it back, she said too fast. I just wanted to see it again. I thought. She stopped. The words she had chosen didn't fit. She tried again. I need to fix something. Please, I'll explain. Just don't let them come. I can't stop them, I said. They're on their way. She pressed the box tighter to her sweater. Then tell them I didn't break in. Did you? I asked. The question hung there. She didn't answer. Her mouth tightened into a line I recognized. It's the line she uses when she's about to be clever in the wrong way. Give it to me, I said, and held out my hand. She shook her head. I'll give it to you in a minute. Please listen. She took a shaky breath. I messed up. I owe money. Not a lot. Not like, she cut herself off. She looked at me, then down at the floor. I made some dumb choices. Okay. Spring break. And then I got behind and there were fees and I thought I could sell it fast just to get out. But not to. Her hand fluttered, searching for a word that would make what she was saying easier to hear. I'm not a thief. You came into my house when I wasn't home, I said. You opened my safe. Her face crumpled. I know. She wiped her cheek with the heel of her hand. I know. I was scared you'd say no. I was scared you'd think less of me. I thought of James's letter. Earned, not given. A promise is a door you close and then guard. How much? I asked. Do you owe? She swallowed. It's not. She looked at the box again as if it might answer for her. I'll pay it back. I swear. How much? I said. Silence. Then she said it like she was pulling a thorn. I don't know exactly. Maybe around. I don't know. Say the number. Her eyes filled again. I'll tell you later, she said. But right now, please tell them it was, I don't know, a misunderstanding. I heard it then. The faint rise of a siren far off. The ripple of sound that says help is coming, even if you didn't call it by name. Leah, I said. How long have you been planning this? I wasn't planning, she said. I swear I knew where the safe was and I knew you'd be out after my note. And she stopped. The siren grew louder. She took a step toward me. I took a breath and didn't step back. I wasn't going to sell the whole thing, she said in a rush. Someone told me there are buyers who pay cash for pieces, and I thought maybe 20. She caught herself like she tripped on a word. Never mind. I wasn't thinking. The number she almost said hung there like a draft under the door. 20,000. Not dollars in her sentence. Not yet, but enough to test the floorboards of my trust. You can't fix this by making it smaller, I said. The siren was close now. Leah looked at the back door. Please, she whispered. Please, just tell them you made a mistake. I saw the next 10 minutes. The way some women see the path of a storm. Officers on the porch. Questions, my answers, the record this would make. The way a fact can become a weapon in a stranger's mouth later when truth needs a guard and there is none. I also saw Leah's face tomorrow and next year and in a picture one day where she might stand with a husband or a boss or a child and how honesty told late can still save a life. Give me the box, I said again. She held it tighter. Promise me first. I don't make promises to hide a wrong, I said. I make promises to keep what's right. Her jaw set. I can't lose everything over one mistake. I won't let you lose everything, I said. But I won't lie to fix it. The siren cut close enough to be on our street. Tires on asphalt. A car door thumped, boots on the walk. Leah's breath quickened. Grandma, she said, and her voice was a child's for a second. Please. I looked at the portrait of James. I looked at Leah. I thought of the number the appraiser told me years ago. I thought of the letter. I thought of a life built on small, steady acts. Locks turned, cups washed, promises kept. Outside, a knock struck the front door, firm and official. A second knock followed, louder. Leah's fingers dug into the velvet. What do? I took one step toward her and then another. I opened my hand. The siren's echo faded down the block. The knock came a third time. I had one breath to choose. I'm going to the door, I said. You're going to put that back in my hand. and then the handle turned. I opened the door with the sound of Leah's breath still quick in the kitchen. 2 officers stood on the porch, shoulders squared, polite but ready. A cruiser idled at the curb, lights cycling without siren. The taller one, broad-shouldered, calm eyes, nodded. "Afternoon, ma'am," he said. "Sergeant Alvarez, this is Officer Benton. We got a call about a possible break-in." "My call," I said. I'm sorry. I made a mistake." Benton glanced past me into the hall. "You sure everything's okay?" "It is now," I said. I heard a noise. Thought I saw a door ajar. I panicked. I stepped aside. "You're welcome to look if that helps." Leah stayed invisible. I could feel her like a pulse in the house. Alvarez kept his gaze on me. "We can do a quick sweep." "Please," I said, and my voice didn't shake the way my hands wanted to. They walked through rooms I'd just straightened, boots tidy on the runner. Benton checked windows with the practice tap of 2 fingers. Alvarez looked into the kitchen, then the yard through the glass. I kept a steady pace behind them, careful to stay in their eye line and out of their way. When they reached the pantry door I had left open, I turned my head to the stairway. The basement door was closed. I listened for one sound, any sound that would end this the hard way. "Look secure," Alvarez said, returning to the hall. "Front and back both locked." "They are now," I said. I must have not set something right earlier. "False alarms happen," Benton said. And the way he said it told me they happen more when a person lives alone. "Next time if you can stay on the porch till we arrive. Don't go looking yourself." "Understood," I said. Alvarez took out a small tablet and stylus. "Mrs. Hale?" I said. "Vivian." "We'll note it," he said. "Because it went out as a suspected burglary. There's a municipal citation for a false emergency report. City policy. It's $500. He said it plainly, not like a threat. "You can handle it online or we can issue it now." There are moments when you don't get the luxury of pouting over rules. I nodded. "Issue it now." He tapped, looked up. "You're certain no property is missing?" "No property. No theft. No granddaughter in the pantry with a velvet box?" I met his eyes. "I'm certain." He wrote. Benton stood easy, watching the middle distance. A man letting a house breathe. Alvarez finished, turned the tablet so I could see. The number sat there. 500. The way money looks when it's a lesson. "You can pay here if you want," he said. "Card works." "Let's do it," I said, and took out my wallet. I watched my hands steady as I slid the card. The tablet chimed. Alvarez tore the printout and handed it to me. I folded the paper once and put it in my pocket behind my driver's license beside a worn photograph of James. "Sorry for the trouble," I said. "That's what we're here for," Benton said. He glanced at the porch railing where my neighbor's planter held a lopsided geranium. "Nice street." "It is," I said. They left. The cruiser eased away. The lights dimmed. I closed the door and listened until the engine sound dissolved into the hum of the neighborhood. A mower 2 blocks over, a dog deciding whether to bark. I stood in the hall, took a long breath. Then I walked to the kitchen. Leah stepped from the basement stair with the box held flat in both hands. Her face was blotchy. She'd wiped at her cheeks and left pale tracks. "You hid," I said. "You told me to," she whispered. I nodded once. "Thank you for listening." She swallowed. "Did you get in trouble?" I took the folded paper from my pocket and set it on the table between us. "There's a fine," I said. "I paid it." Her eyes skimmed the number. "Grandma, I'll manage," I said. "Sit." She sat. I did not touch the box. I let it sit where she'd placed it and looked at her. "Not it." "Tell me how long this has been building," I said. She twisted her fingers. "It's not. You don't get to blur this part." She looked at the window at the yard where the maple threw leaves across the grass like small boats. Then she looked back at me. A few months, she said. Since winter. What changed? I got behind, she said. I thought I'd pay it off with spring break. I didn't. She exhaled. I took a card from a table in the student union because it said rewards and then there were fees, and I kept thinking I'd catch up if I could get one clean shot of money. A friend said there are buyers who pay cash for heirlooms. No questions. She said someone did it with her aunt's ring and walked away with. She stopped. It doesn't matter. It does, I said. Because the numbers tell the truth when words won't. She stared at the grain of the table. I panicked, she said. Last night. I was embarrassed. I said I didn't want it because my friends were watching. And then I talked to her again. And she said I was stupid not to move it. And she said I could fix everything if I just. She made a small broken sound. I knew where the safe was. I knew you'd wait for me this afternoon. I wrote the note so you'd be home at the same time. I was sure you'd go out for your walk. I thought I had a window. The truth let loose is a strong wind. I held the table's edge. And the box? I asked. She nodded to it. It's the real one, she said. I was going to take pictures and meet someone later. Then I saw your face when you called. I couldn't. I hid. I hate myself for all of it. Hate is too big, I said. We'll use smaller tools. They're sharper. She looked up. Are you going to tell Mom? Yes, I said. And your father? Her mouth went tight. She already knows about the value. She told me. She said it was worth over $100,000. Like I was an idiot for not seeing what it meant. My hands stilled. A chill moved from my neck to my chest. Marcus told you the appraisal? Leah shrugged, ashamed and defiant in one motion. He said it to make me respect it. It made me panic. I sat back. The number climbed up between us like a wall. $120,000. I could hear James, the particular way he underlined a word with his voice. Ready. Not when she asks. I folded my hands to stop them from going to the letter upstairs. I'm calling your mother, I said. Grandma, please. This is not a secret I will hold alone, I said. But first, we put the watch away. I stood. So did she automatically? I held out my hand. She hesitated a heartbeat longer than I liked, then set the box in my palm. I took it to the closet, opened the safe, turned the dial with the exacting care of a woman who keeps promises by muscle memory. I placed the box inside and closed the door. I checked it twice, then once more. Back in the kitchen, I dialed Diane. Mom, she said, everything okay? Come over, I said, now, and bring Marcus. There was a stretch of silence where she understood something large and heavy had been moved. We'll be there, she said. Leah rubbed her sleeve with her thumb. Are you going to tell them everything? Everything, I said. But you will do the telling. Her eyes flashed instinctive resistance. I can't. You can, I said. Or you can spend the next year being chased by the part you won't say out loud. One is shorter. She looked like someone watching a cold river and arguing with the idea of stepping in. A car door closed outside. Tires on gravel. Voices. The front door opened without a knock and closed again because family lives like that. Diane came first, shoulders bunched the way hers did as a teenager when she expected trouble. Marcus followed, neat as always, hair perfect, eyes wide from curiosity that wanted to be control. What happened? Diane said. I sat. Leah has something to tell you. They looked at her. She looked at the floor, then at me, and then at them. I messed up, she said. I took the watch from the safe. I thought I could sell part of it to pay my cards. I didn't. I hid when the police came. Grandma paid. She paid a fine. I'm sorry. Marcus's hand went to his mouth. You what? Diane's face went blank for a second, then colored in all at once. Leah. I know, she said. You knew the value, I said to Marcus. I kept my voice level. You told her. He swallowed. I thought knowing would make her understand. Respect it. It made her a target, I said. That's not fair, Marcus said. But his voice had lost its polish. I told her in confidence. Secrets make poor fences, I said. Diane shot him a look that was not unkind, but was very clear. We talk about big numbers together, she said softly. That's our rule. Marcus closed his eyes a moment, then opened them and nodded once. You're right, he said. I'm sorry. Leah's mouth twisted. It doesn't matter. I chose. It all matters, I said. Choice and the wind that pushes it. Diane rubbed her jaw. What now? Consequences, I said. Boundaries and a plan. Ground her, Marcus said fast. Take her car keys. Cut her cards. This is not punishment by volume, I said. It's a contract. Diane looked at me. A what? A written agreement that sets out exactly what happens next, I said. What Leah will do, what I will do, what you will do. Honest steps. Clear dates. If she wants a future with the heirloom, she earns it with those steps. Leah stared. You're going to dangle it like a prize. No, I said, I'm going to treat it like what it is, a legacy with conditions. Your grandfather wrote me a letter about this before he died. Love gives. Legacy is earned. I won't cheapen him by doing this sloppy. Marcus folded his arms. I don't like the sound of a contract. Then call it a promise with paper, I said. Diane exhaled. What's in it? First, I said, counting on my fingers so the air felt orderly. The watch stays in my safe. Second, Leah begins weekly counseling at the university. Third, we have Sunday evening calls every Sunday for a year. Fourth, Leah opens her finances to me and to you. Every card, every amount, every fee. Fifth, Leah will not meet, text, or send photos to anyone about the watch. Sixth, we address the debt with a plan we can all see and measure. Seventh, if she breaks any of this, the heirloom exits her future. Simple. Hard. Leah's eyes filled. That's a lot. It's the least I can require after I just told the police I was wrong when I wasn't, I said. I tapped my pocket where the paper lay. I paid $500 to buy you time. I won't spend any more on pretending. Marcus's chin lifted. And what do we do? You and Diane stop leaking numbers, I said, and I saw the flinch at my word. You speak about this only to each other and to me. You don't rescue Leah from small embarrassments. You let her do hard things in daylight. Diane nodded slowly. I can do that. Marcus pressed his lips together. I can try. Don't try, I said gently. Do. Leah wiped her face with her sleeve. What do you do, Grandma? I keep the safe, I said. I answer the Sunday calls. I help build the debt plan and I write down our agreement clearly enough that when you're angry at me, you can still read the next step. Silence held a chair for all of us. Then Leah spoke very small. Will you forgive me? I forgive you, I said. I do not remove consequences. They're the rails that keep us from the ditch. She nodded as if the words were a medicine that tasted like something she didn't like but needed. I stood and went to my desk. I brought back a sheet of paper and a pen. I wrote a title at the top in small, careful letters. Family Agreement for Stewardship. I listed each point. I dated it. I put a line for my name, a line for Leah's, a line for Diane's, and one for Marcus's. I slid it across the table. We sign now, I said. Leah read it once all the way through. She looked at me at item 2 and again at item 4. At the end, she let out a breath that sounded like surrender without collapse. Okay, she said and picked up the pen. She signed her full name, slow and neat. She set the pen down and looked up at me, and there was a steadiness in her eyes I hadn't seen since last night. Then she swallowed and said, "What about the money I owe?" We put real numbers on paper, I said. Leah nodded, small and tight. Diane and Marcus sat close together on the couch, as if a crease in the cushion could keep them on the same side. I took a fresh sheet from the pad and wrote across the top, "Leah's debts today." "Phone," I said. She blinked. "Why?" "Because we won't guess," I said. "We'll look." After a second, she unlocked it and passed it over like a person handing a stranger a baby. I set it face down on the table. "We'll do this together," I said, tapping the pad. "You tell me where to look." We read the amounts aloud. We write them once. Then we stop pretending they change because we feel bad. Leah's mouth moved, then held. "Okay." We opened the first card app. I tilted the screen so she could see what I saw. "Balance?" I asked. She swallowed. $2,150, she said. Minimum due $65. I wrote card A. $2,150. Min $65. Second app. Her voice steadier now, like the act of speaking was a shovel making a path. "Balance $1,740, she said. Min $59. I wrote card B. $1,740. Min $59. Third app. She pinched her lips. $1,110. Min $40. Card C. $1,110. Min $40. I added them on the side so she could see the math, not magic. Total $5,000. Diane exhaled, quiet but long. "How did it get here?" Leah's eyes found the place between us. "Spring break was $2,000, she said. Hotel, flight, food." I told myself it was a once-in-college thing. Then books, then a dress I shouldn't have bought, then fees. I kept paying minimums, thinking I could outwalk the tide. I nodded. Tides don't care how fast you walk. They care about the moon. She almost smiled and then didn't. "I hate money." "You hate how it feels when it's talking and you're not," I said. "So you'll talk first." Marcus leaned forward. "We can transfer some to our card." "No," I said. He blinked. "No. We will not move the mess," I said. "We will clean it. Leah will clean it with us standing here." Leah's shoulders rose, then dropped. "What do I do?" "We'll build a payment ladder," I said. "You keep one card for emergencies, locked away, not in your wallet. You close the other two. You set automatic payments above the minimums. You take the university counseling appointment and you attend. Sunday calls at 7 every Sunday. You show me every screen when we talk." Diane nodded. "That's clear." Marcus's voice sharpened again. "What about her car?" "Leave the keys," I said. "She needs to get to class and counseling. We're not staging a parade of punishments. We're building rails." Leah looked down at her hands. "I can do this," she said softly, as if trying the sentence on to see if it fit. "We'll do it now," I said. We called the first card. Leah put it on speaker. A recorded voice thanked us. Then a woman came on who sounded like she'd heard every version of sorry. "Hello, Leah," the woman said. "How can I help today?" Leah looked at me. I nodded. "I need to close this card," Leah said. Her throat tightened around the words, but they came. "And I want to set a fixed monthly payment." They went back and forth. The woman explained terms. Leah repeated them. We wrote them down in the margin. We did it 2 more times. A small act of bravery that had nothing shiny in it and therefore mattered. When we hung up, Leah stared at the 3 lines on the paper, then at the bottom line. $5,000. Numbers behave better once they're on paper. They stop swelling. "We cut one," I said. She looked up. "What?" "1 card," I said. "The one we just closed." Scissors are a ritual, not a cure. Rituals tell your body we changed the thing. I brought the kitchen scissors. Leah held the card. The light through the window caught the little gold chip. She took a breath and sliced it twice. The pieces clicked into the bowl like cheap coins. Marcus winced. That sound. Good sound, I said. We'll keep it. Leah wiped her nose with the back of her hand. I feel sick. That's your body noticing truth, I said. It will pass. We set Sunday at 7. We opened her calendar app so it would live where she lives. I wrote counseling intake this week on the pad and drew a box next to it. I like boxes. You get to make them into check marks. Diane rubbed her forehead. Mom, do you want me to call the university? I can. I've got it, I said. But Leah makes the appointment. She nodded. I will. Marcus stood and smoothed his shirt until it had no wrinkles, which struck me as a picture of the last hour. I'll make dinner, he said. Diane, let's go. Leah stood. I'll stay a bit, she said. I want to. I need to be here. Marcus looked at me. There was worry in his face and something else like the edge of a mirror. Vivian, he said. Thank you. You're her father, I said. Thank me by keeping the numbers quiet. He nodded. I will. After they left, the house settled, a slow shift, like an old chair accepting a new weight. I made tea. Leah sat at the table and watched the steam. You kept the watch, she said. I did. You're still going to let me. Maybe someday? Maybe is not a nice word, I said. It's a hard word that keeps nicer ones safe. She nodded as if the word itself was a wall she hadn't noticed before and now understood she could lean on. Tell me about the friend, I said. She looked at her hands. She's not a best friend. She's in my sorority. She knows people. A quick glance up. I know how that sounds. I'm not stupid. Stupid is loud, I said. This was quiet. Quiet hurts more. She said she knew someone who could move things fast. She said, Leah closed her eyes. She said, you could walk today with $20,000 and no mess. She made it sound like picking up dry cleaning. The number lay there plain without a dollar sign, like it wanted to be universal. I felt the old anger again, the kind that is cool and useful. What's her name? I said. Leah gave it. I didn't write it down. She texted this morning, Leah said, pulling her phone closer. I didn't answer. Keep not answering, I said. Block if you need to. What if she shows up? Leah asked. Then you tell her you made an agreement with your family and with yourself, I said. If she can't respect that, she doesn't get your time. Leah's mouth twisted. It's not that simple in the house, she said. Girls talk. Let them, I said. Talk is weather. You carry an umbrella. She half smiled. You have a phrase for everything. I have a few that have saved me, I said. She looked toward the hall. Can I see the letter again? Grandpa's. I brought it from the drawer. The paper had the slight yellow that happens to love when it stays. Leah read the first paragraph. She traced the underlined word with her finger. Ready. She really underlined it, Leah said, wonder and ache in the same breath. He did, I said. I want to be that, she said. Ready. You will be, I said. You already made 3 hard calls today. She handed the letter back like it was a warm dish. Thank you. 2 days later, we walked across the campus of her large private university in Philadelphia. The counseling center sat in a brick building with a glass door that whispered when it closed. A student at the desk looked up with the professional kindness they learn in the job. Check in, she said. For Leah, I said. Leah gave her student ID. The student typed. Intake with Jenna at 2, she said. If you want. There's tea in the corner. Leah glanced at me. You can wait, she said. I'll be here, I said. I brought a book I won't read. She almost laughed and went back. I sat and watched students come and go. A young man with a skateboard tucked under his arm, hair too neat for the board. A woman with a red scarf who kept her hands in her coat sleeves. Life moves like that, different and same. When Leah came out, her eyes were red but set. How was Jenna? I asked. She asked hard questions, Leah said. I liked her. Good, I said. I have to come every week, she said. Yes, I said. Good, I said again. Some words deserve a simple circle around them. We walked to the car. On the way, two girls from her house passed us talking fast. Leah's shoulders went small and then returned to size. I pretended to check a parking sign. Sometimes the best help is to stand close and make nothing bigger. Back at my place, we made 2 more calls. One to the bank to put a note on my safe deposit box that I alone would access it until further written notice. One to my insurer to verify without drama that no policy changes had been attempted. The woman on the line said there had been a routine inquiry flagged last week. It happens, she said. We saw your long history and kept everything as is. Thank you, I said, remembering how quickly a story can go running without its shoes. Leah watched me hang up. Do you think someone? I think doors should be shut when you're not using them, I said. That's all. She looked like she wanted to ask another question, then didn't. She stood and went to the window, looked at the maple, came back. Sunday is in 4 days, she said. I'm looking forward to it, I said. 7. She nodded. 7. Sunday at 7, Leah called on time. We put our phones on video because faces tell a second truth. Diane and Marcus joined from the couch at their place. Marcus had a legal pad. Diane had her glasses on, which means she planned to read everything. Leah reported the week like a small news anchor. I closed 2 cards, set autopay, counseling session 1, read Grandpa's letter twice, no contact about the watch, stayed off social media when I felt bad. Proud of you, Diane said. Marcus pressed his lips into a smile that looked like work. Me too. I asked one question. What was hardest? Leah didn't hesitate. Walking past the girls on the porch and not saying anything, she said. Just going in. I wanted to explain. I didn't. Good, I said. Explanations can be a way to buy time we don't need. She nodded. I kept hearing your line about umbrellas. Useful tool, I said. We ended the call with the routine we had just invented. Next steps? I asked. She read them from her paper. 2. Counseling Wednesday. 3. Budget draft Friday. 4. Sunday call. Love you, Diane said. Love you, she said. Love, Marcus added, small but there. We hung up. I sat at my table a while, feeling the shape of hope in the room. I went to close the curtains and saw the porch light across the street flick on. The neighborhood does its own Sunday check-in. The phone buzzed on the table. A text from a number I didn't know. This is Paul Mercer. Can we confirm our quiet understanding? My name has been given out in enough circles to expect the occasional odd message. I started to block and then stopped. Mercer. The name ran a line to something Leah had said. I took a breath and typed 3 words. Wrong number. Sorry. I blocked it. 2 minutes later, Leah's name lit the screen. Grandma, are you up? Yes, I typed. I'm here. I need to tell you something before you see it another way. Go ahead. There was a pause long enough to hear the refrigerator click. Then she told me. He just texted me. He says he can help if I send photos tonight. I stood without knowing I had. My hand found the back of the chair. What did you say? I typed. Nothing yet came back. He wrote just the box and the clasp and any paper you have. Tonight. The words tonight do a special thing to the heart. They move all the tomorrows into the doorway. Don't send anything, I wrote. Do not reply. Come here now. 3 dots pulsed, stopped, started, stopped. On my way, she wrote. I went to the closet. I checked the safe twice, then once more. I stood in the hallway where the portrait hung and breathed through my nose until the air knew what to do. The porch light threw a soft square on the floorboards. Through the glass, I watched for Leah's car. Somewhere across town, someone waited for pictures. The house went still the way a house does right before a door opens. Leah pulled in fast, headlights sliding over the porch rail like a hand searching for a grip. I opened the door before she could knock. No messages, I said. No photos. Phone here. I held out a small ceramic bowl from the hall table. We use bowls for keys and habits. She set her phone in it, screen face down. Her hands shook. He keeps pinging, she said. I turned off previews. Good, I said. Come in. We sat at the kitchen table the way scared people do, close enough to hear breath, far enough to see each other fully. The house hummed, the refrigerator's quiet motor, the clock that never hurries. Tell me exactly what he asked for, I said. Just the box and the clasp and any paper you have. Tonight, she recited. He said, you'll be safe. Walk away with $20,000. No dollar sign, like it was just a big number floating in the air. That's how wolves talk, I said. They make the word money sound like weather. Leah let out a breath that trembled. At the end, I blocked him, then I unblocked. Then I turned the phone face down and drove. We'll make the block stick, I said. And we'll make new rules. Her eyes flicked to the hall closet door and back. Is it? It's in the safe, I said. And the safe is closed. She nodded so hard her hair moved. Okay. You're sleeping here tonight, I said. Couch. I'll put on the chain. In the morning, we'll move anything with details out of the house. Anything with details? She asked. Appraisal papers, receipts, old photos of the clasp, I said. The box stays. The paper trails go somewhere that only I can touch. She flinched. I'm not going to try again. If tonight scared you, right? I said. You won't. But fear fades. Paper doesn't. We made tea because hands need a task. We drank it too fast because hearts do. I wrote 3 sentences on a notepad and slid it toward her. Tonight, no phone, sleep here. In the morning, bank vault for papers. Rule. If you're in the same room as the box, your phone stays in the hall. She read the lines like vows. Okay. Say them, I said. No phone. Sleep here. Papers to the bank. Phone in the hall if I'm near the box. Good, I said. And tomorrow you tell Jenna at counseling about the messages. Leah nodded. I can do that. I set up the couch with the old quilt James loved. The one with squares of blue shirts and summer curtains sewn into a map of a life. Leah lay down, face toward the room, hands under her cheek like a child pretending not to think. I watched her breathe until it steadied. At the door, I slid the chain across. I tested it twice, then once more. I woke in the dark to a sound like a moth trapped in a glass. Not loud, persistent. A light blinked down the hall. Leah, I called, quiet. No answer. Another soft sound, paper against wood. I stepped into the hall, bare feet on cool floor. The office door was open an inch. A thin line of phone light leaked into the dark like a secret, trying not to look like one. I pushed the door wider. Leah stood at my desk with the appraisal folder open, the phone angled low. The glow lit her hands, not her face. The letter from James lay to the side, safe for the moment, as if Leah knew not to touch the part that could look back at her. She froze. The phone did too, on its edge between sending and not. Leah, I said. Her shoulders climbed to her ears. She set the phone down slow, face up now, as if honesty could be retroactive. I wasn't. She swallowed. I wanted to show Jenna what started this. I wanted a picture of the number. The big one. The number is already in your head, I said. You don't have to carry it on your phone. It felt cleaner, she said, and the last word broke like a dish. I stepped in. I closed the folder. I put my hand on it, not on her, because paper can take weight that people can't. I love you, I said. I do not trust your midnight choices. Her chin dropped. I know. The rule about phones, I said. Say it. If I'm in the same room as the box, my phone stays in the hall, she whispered. And papers are the same, I said. If you take pictures, they'll live forever in places you can't see. You won't be the only person holding them. Tonight, you're not the only person who wants to hold them. Her eyes filled. I didn't send anything, she said fast. I swear. I believe you, I said. And we're still tightening the rules. She nodded. She waited for the blow that wasn't coming. What now? Now you hand me the phone, I said. She did. I swiped to the camera roll. No new photos. I set the phone face down on the shelf by the door. I slid the appraisal back into the folder and held it like a fragile tray. We're moving everything in the morning, I said. No more paper in the house. The only thing here is the box. Leah nodded again, slower this time, like someone learning the rhythm of a machine she didn't build but needs to operate. I'm sorry, she whispered. I know, I said. Sorry isn't a bridge. Steps are. We walked back to the living room. Leah curled under the quilt, awake without wanting to be. I sat in the chair with James's letter in my hands and watched the room turn grey at the edges. At dawn, I made coffee and wrote bank on a sticky note because lists are my small religion. By 10, we stood at a community bank in West Philadelphia. The vault manager knew me. He nodded at the folder in the small envelope. More keepsakes, he said. More, I said. We signed the log. He left us alone in the small room with the heavy door. I slid the appraisal and the envelope into the box. I left the letter with me. Some things want to ride home in a pocket. Can I? Leah asked, looking at the metal drawer like it might say something to her. You can watch me close it, I said. She did. The weight of the door moving into its frame made a sound you feel in your teeth. When we stepped back into the light, my shoulders sat lower. So now, Leah said, if someone gets my phone, they get a picture of your cat, I said, and a reminder for Sunday at 7. Leah almost smiled. Okay. We walked out into air that smelled like rain was thinking about it. On the corner, a woman from the neighborhood, hair set, lips pressed into a permanent opinion, paused by the bank's planter. Mrs. Hale, she said, sweet and sharp. I heard the police were at your house the other day. Everything all right? False alarm, I said. All set. She tilted her head. You know, the HOA board meets Thursday. We like being updated on disturbances. I like quiet, I said. Leah shifted. The woman's eyes slid to her and took measurements. Family visit, I said. Of course, the woman said. Well, we all want to feel safe. We do, I said, and let the words hold what I couldn't say. We walked away. Leah exhaled the way you do after passing a dog that might bite. Who was that? She asked. A neighbor who thinks curiosity is a civic duty, I said. Leah's mouth twisted. She'll talk. She already does, I said. We'll let her get tired. At Leah's university the next day, Jenna asked to see me for a minute after Leah's hour. She gave me permission, Jenna said in the doorway. I stepped in. Jenna's office held a soft chair and a plant that didn't mind being inside. The window faced a tree that was serious about its leaves. She told me about the messages, Jenna said. You did the right thing moving the documents. I'm working with her on impulse windows and on scripts. Scripts? I asked. Words she can use when the pressure comes from people she knows, Jenna said. Short calm sentences she can say twice. I have a family agreement. I won't discuss it. Please don't text me about it again. Good, I said. She likes scripts. She just doesn't like using them. She will, Jenna said. She used one on me today when I pressed too hard. She smiled. That will do. I felt a soft shame at how proud that made me. Thank you, I said. Keep the rules clear, Jenna said. Keep the consequences kind and firm, and keep your Sunday calls. They're already a post her week is leaning on. We will, I said. At home that afternoon, an envelope sat in my mailbox with the HOA's logo. I opened it at the curb because some paper wants street air. Notice of informational hearing, police welfare checks, disturbances, plain type, made fancy by bold and a line. Thursday, 6 p.m. A polite demand for my time and my calm. Please be prepared to discuss the nature of the incident and any steps you've taken to ensure community safety. I was still reading when the busybody from the bank corner arrived at her own box. Oh, you got one too? She said as if I'd been invited to a picnic. I did, I said. Nothing personal, she said. We just like to keep records. Records are useful, I said. They remind us what's true. She paused, tasting that. Will you be bringing anyone? My dignity, I said. She laughed the way a person laughs when they aren't sure if it's a joke. See you Thursday then. I carried the letter inside and set it on the table. I circled the time. I wrote one sentence beneath it. Calm is our side of the street. That evening, Diane stopped by after work. No Marcus. A text said he had a late meeting. She leaned in the kitchen doorway, tie loosened, a woman trying to be both mother and daughter without dropping either. How's she holding up? She asked. She tells the truth faster, I said. She sleeps enough to be tired. She nodded. I told her last night that if she tries to sneak this again, I'll change the locks. Not on the house, on the relationship. Good language, I said. She rubbed her jaw. I'm done rescuing her from the looks she gets on the porch. She'll be fine, I said. The porch goes cold in October. She smiled at that. You got an HOA letter? I did, I said. I'll go and I'll keep it dull. Good, she said. Dull is my favorite outcome. We stood a minute without talk. Then she cleared her throat. Mom. Yes. Thank you, she said, for paying that fine, for not making a bigger thing out of that night. It was already big, I said. I just kept it in the room. She looked at the safe door down the hall. You still have the... It's there, I said, and did not finish the sentence because I didn't want to teach the house to expect its ending. 2 nights later, Leah walked into a buzzsaw made of whispers. Sorority girls on porch steps, phones palm up, faces bright with other people's business. She called me afterward from the campus green. They said I made up a burglary, she said, voice thin. They said the police fine you for lying. They said I'm why the HOA is having a meeting. All that can be true, I said. And they can still not know you. She made a small sound. I wanted to show them the contract. Wave it like a flag. Flags are for parades, I said. We're building rails. She took a breath that sounded like it might keep going forever if she let it. I walked past without speaking, she said. I used Jenna's sentence when one of them followed me. I have a family agreement. I won't discuss it. She said. What agreement? With who? And I said it again and went inside. I closed my eyes in the quiet of my kitchen and saw her do it. Proud of you, I said. Why does it feel like losing? She asked. Because your body is used to sprinting, I said. Now you're learning to stand. She was quiet. Then Sunday at 7, she said as if reminding herself that time existed. I'll call on time. You will, I said. Thursday came. The HOA room smelled like coffee and the kind of cookies that leave polite crumbs. 6 people at a folding table, legal pads ready. The chair, a man who wore his reading glasses like a crown, cleared his throat. Mrs. Hale, he said. We appreciate your prompt response. I like schedules, I said. He smiled as if that made us kin. We received a police notice about a call from your address. Can you summarize the event and the steps taken since for our record? False alarm, I said. I reported a suspected break-in. Officers responded. No crime. I paid $500 for a false report. Since then, I've reviewed my locks and my routines. I've ensured sensitive items are secured. No further issues. Pens moved. A woman asked a question about exterior lighting. I said I had a motion light. The busybody from the bank corner asked if I'd considered moving. I said I like my house. The chair nodded through each answer the way a wind-up toy nods through a shelf of angels. Thank you, he said finally. We're glad for your diligence. I'm glad you like records, I said. It means we're all looking at the same page. On the way out, the busybody touched my sleeve. We're just trying to keep things peaceful, she said. We are, I said, and left it at that. Sunday at 7, Leah and I talked through the week. Jenna's scripts, the walk past the porch, the bank vault. We checked the autopay dates. We moved one up by 2 days because small moves help the mind believe bigger ones. When we hung up, I made tea. The porch light clicked on across the street like a neighborly heartbeat. I took out James's letter and read the underlined word again. Ready. The phone buzzed. A new number. No preview. I let it buzz once more, then opened the message. We both know pictures are safer than meetings, but I'm old-fashioned. Meet me. 30 minutes. Woodland Market Cafe. Back table. I set the phone down. Picked it up again. Typed wrong number. 3 dots. Then Leah knows me. Tell her I'll be kind. The quiet in the kitchen changed shape. Not louder, different. I felt it move along the walls like a draft. I typed one word. Who? Another buzz. A photo not of the watch, not of paper, but of a coffee cup on a table. I recognized the light over it, too bright on the handle. A second photo older, from a party Leah had posted last semester. A man in the background smiling at something off camera while Leah and 2 girls laughed. He'd been there, not quite in the frame, like a footnote with teeth. Another text. We met already. I bought a round for her friends. She said, thank you. Thoughtful kid. I breathed out and in slow. The first rule of wolves is they always claim they've been invited. The phone buzzed again. A final tap. Tell Leah it's me. She'll remember. And tell Marcus I'll keep it discreet. He has my number. I stood. My chair did not scrape. The room did not move. Only the air changed. And the small sound the clock makes when it tells you what time it is. Enough for a decision. I picked up the phone. Leah, I wrote and then deleted her name because some sentences are better spoken. I reached for my coat. The market wasn't far. The back table would be waiting. I didn't text Leah from the car. I didn't call Marcus. I walked into Woodland Market like any woman who wanted coffee after dinner and chose a table with a view of the back. He was already there. 30s, pressed shirt, smile that tried to look like it had nowhere else to be. Paul Mercer. He cupped his mug with both hands, the way people do in ads. He looked at the door the way fishermen look at water. Leah came in first, coat half zipped, eyes scanning for exits. Marcus drifted in 10 seconds later. Perfect hair, phone in his palm, face down. They didn't look at me. Marcus had told her to. I knew before Marcus decided he knew. They took the back table. Marcus sat next to Leah, not across. It was a choice that said, we are on one side. Mercer smiled bigger. Thanks for meeting, he said, voice low but made to carry. We'll keep this short. Marcus leaned forward. We're here to clarify, he said. Nothing moves. We're gathering information. He slid a look at Leah that meant, let me do this. I watched the steam rise from my cup and didn't drink. Mercer nodded as if he wrote the word clarify himself. Of course, I'm a helpful guy, he said. College is expensive. Life is expensive. Sometimes a little liquidity keeps a family from drowning. He looked at Leah. I mentioned to your grandmother that I'm old-fashioned. I prefer handshakes to screenshots. Leah flinched at the word grandmother. She kept her eyes on the plate of sugar packets. Marcus kept his voice smooth. What are we talking about? He said as if he were ordering tile for a kitchen. Mercer's smile changed a hair. A quick private solution, he said. You have a piece. I have buyers. The rumor is you could walk today with $20,000. That's not a promise, just market chatter. My offer depends on condition, documentation, and your willingness to be smart. The number lay on the table like a coin you can't pick up. Leah swallowed. Marcus didn't look at her. We're not fools, Marcus said. We know the appraisal number. We're not selling a house for the price of a door. Mercer spread his hands. Appraisals are theater, he said softly. Insurers like big numbers. Buyers like what they can move. That piece isn't liquid at your appraised value. Not now. He tilted his head. What you can do is lighten a load today. Leah glanced toward the door, toward me without looking. She rubbed the edge of the sugar packet till it broke. A white line on the table. Marcus's phone buzzed. He didn't look. He kept his eyes on Mercer. We want discretion, he said. No photos, no texts. A simple exchange when we say so. You don't contact family again unless it's through me. Mercer let that sit, then nodded. You're a good father, he said. He looked pleased like a cat looks pleased when a mouse compliments the paw. He leaned in. To be clear, he said. If your family wants to keep the appraisal out of certain conversations, if you'd like that number to stop echoing, my people can help with that, too. He tapped his phone lightly. Things get misfiled. Listings expire. Search results forget. No need for a record that scares off normal buyers down the line. Leah's shoulders rose. Marcus's face didn't move, but a shade of color came and went. Mercer smiled at the space where their fear tried to stand up. I took a sip so I wouldn't stand. Marcus tucked hair behind his ear. If we move forward, he said, we do it my way. You don't text Leah. You don't brag you bought around for her friends. You don't wave pictures. We keep it discreet. He let the word do the work he wanted. If I see your number in her phone again, we're done. Mercer nodded as if he'd made the rule. Understood, he said, then he held up a hand, a little apologetic. One thing, buyers hate surprises, so I need 2 things in the next 48 hours. A clean clasp photo and the left side of the box interior. No serials, no full shots, just enough for comfort. You can bring them to me here from your phone. He looked at Marcus. Not hers. Leah whispered. We said no photos. Marcus touched her arm. He said no serials, he murmured. There's a difference. Leah's mouth tightened. It's the same. Marcus's fingers pressed. Let me handle this, he said a little too bright. Your grandmother is making you jump through hoops. I'm trying to make the jump lower. Leah shut her eyes. Like someone hearing a song with a hook they hate and still hum. Mercer smiled. All patience. No rush, he said. But clocks make decisions when we don't. He slid a small card to Marcus. No name, a number. Text me confirmation of our quiet understanding when you're ready. Marcus didn't take the card. He looked at it the way people look at candles in a store, calculating scent and cost. Then he slid it into his pocket with 2 fingers, like it might stain if he touched it more. I stood up and left my cup full. At the counter, I paid cash and nodded to Rita Costañeda, who has rung up my bread for 10 years and knows where every roomer in this city learned to walk. Evening, Mrs. Hale, she said. You doing all right? I am, I said. Busy week. She leaned in, eyes kind. Saw you in the back there. Council ladies were just in. Said hi. You wave. She tilted her head toward the window. 2 members of the parish committee stood on the sidewalk with their to-go cups, looking in like a painting called Women Consider Matters. I hadn't waved. I waved now. An empty gesture with a purpose to be seen doing something harmless. Rita watched the wave inside. They'll have you married to a scandal by morning, she said. Not unkind. Let them, I said. Truth has longer legs. Truth needs good shoes, she said. I stepped away before Leah and Marcus could come out. Outside, I crossed the street, took the long way to the car, and watched the cafe's door in the reflection of a dark shop window. I don't spy well, but I can stand still. When they emerged, Marcus talked with his hands, fast and precise. Leah's arms were crossed hard, the way she crossed them at her birthday. Marcus kissed her cheek. Leah didn't lean in. They parted at the curb. Marcus to his car, Leah to the sidewalk, head down. I met Leah at the corner so she wouldn't jump at my voice. You followed me, she said. Not a question. Not anger yet. A fact. Looking for a place to sit, I said. She stared at the asphalt. I told him I didn't want to go, she said. He said it would be safer if he handled it. What did he ask for? Photos, she said. Clasp, inside the box. No cereals. She made a face like the word tasted bad. He said clocks make decisions. What did your father say? Leah's jaw worked. He said he could keep it discreet. He said you make things bigger. Your father wants a shortcut, I said. Shortcuts cut off something. She kicked a pebble. It bounced into the gutter like a tiny plan running out of street. I should have called you, she said. Yes, I said. She turned her head, eyes hot. I didn't because I knew you'd say no. I say no to wolves, I said. To you I say not yet. There's a difference. She blinked at that. Defiance rose to her face, then dropped like a wave that missed the beach. He knew about the appraisal, she said. He knew about the $500 fine. He said people make up break-ins all the time, that it would hurt the piece's reputation. He said he could make the appraisal go away online if we did it fast. We'll talk about that part later, I said, because my voice would not be calm if I talked about it now. For tonight, new rule. You don't go anywhere your father sends you about this without me. You don't meet, you don't text, you don't promise. Leah's mouth hardened. I'm not a child. You are my granddaughter, I said. And I am the safe. She looked away. I hate that sentence. I like it very much, I said. She didn't smile. I'm going home. I'll walk you to your car. She let me. At the door, she paused. You're going to call Dad, she said. I am, I said. He'll say he was protecting me, Leah said softer. He thinks you're making this a test I can only fail. This isn't a test, I said. It's a road. The signs keep us out of the ditch. Leah ran a hand over the steering wheel. I'm tired, she said. Sleep, I said. Call me when you get in. She nodded. Okay. Marcus answered on the third ring like he'd been holding his phone, chin up, arguments aligned. Vivian, he said, before you start, I kept it contained. You broke the agreement, I said. You met the buyer. You encouraged photos. I didn't encourage, he said. I negotiated. There's a difference. He was polite. He understands discretion. He understands pressure, I said. You gave him a lane. I gave Leah a way out, he snapped. She is drowning in shame. You hand her rules and tell her to swim laps. Laps keep people alive, I said. Ropes pull them under if the wrong hands hold them. His voice went cool. I will not sit while you turn this into a morality play about my fatherhood. I'm turning it into writing, I said. On paper with signatures you signed. No contact, no photos, no deals. I remember, he said. I also remember that you lied to the police and paid $500. I am trying to prevent the next fine. That fine bought Leah time, I said. You're trying to buy quiet. Quiet is what decent families have, he said. Decent families have boundaries, I said. If you talk to him again, you are outside hours. Silence beat twice. You can't cut me off from my daughter, he said. Anger now without makeup. No, I said. I can say where the heirloom lives and who touches the conversation. He doesn't touch it. Not through you, not through anyone. You're impossible, he said, and old-fashioned. This could be simple if you let it. Simple is how wolves get invited to dinner, I said. Good night, Marcus. You don't get the last word, he said. I don't need it, I said, and hung up. Leah texted when she got home. Good night. I stared at the single word like it could grow roots. Monday, the parish committee chair called to check in. Tuesday, Rita handed me my bread and said, You looked calm at the cafe. Wednesday, a neighbor said, I hear you're downsizing. Gossip moves faster than weather. At counseling, Jenna taught Leah a new script. My family is handling Heirloom business through one channel. Please don't contact me about it. Leah practiced it out loud until the sentences lost their thorns. That night, Diane stopped by. She stood with her hands in her pockets like a girl about to confess to a broken window. Marcus told me he met the guy, she said. I know, I said. He said you threatened to cut him off, she said. I said he was outside the boundary if he opened that door again, I said. She nodded. He's angry. He also knows he crossed it. She sighed. I keep wanting to fix this with a big speech. Then I remember Leah needs small sentences and time. Truth has longer legs, I said. She smiled a little. Rita says the same thing about bread. We both looked at the safe door. It sat simple and black and not loud at all. Can I see the letter again? She asked. I gave it to her. She read the underlined word. She folded the paper the way I fold it. She handed it back. Thanks, Mom, she said, for carrying the weight of being the no. It's not heavy if you put it down on paper, I said. Thursday, the buyer changed his coat. New number, new tone. This time, he texted me. Mrs. Hale. Respectfully, I can keep appraisals from scaring off your granddaughter's future. If the piece moves, those records become unhelpful. We can help them sleep. Coffee. 30 minutes. Same table. I set the phone down, picked it up, typed no. He waited a minute. You paid $500 to keep her safe. I'm offering a 0-line item. Better ROA, ma'am. I typed, do not contact this number again. I blocked him. He'd find another door. Wolves enjoy doors. That evening, Leah came by without warning. No makeup, clean hoodie. The look you wear when you want to be known, but don't want anyone to say they notice. I told Dad I'm not doing it his way, she said in the hall. He cried. He said I humiliated him. He said, she stopped. You made him look bad at the cafe. Leah's voice wavered, then steadied. I said I had a family agreement, and I won't discuss it. How did he take it? He hung up, Leah said. She swallowed. He texted 5 minutes later and sent me his number again. I blocked it. I exhaled. Good. She looked at the safe, at the box, at me. I don't want to look at it, she said. I want to make spaghetti. Best plan I've heard today, I said. We boiled water. We ate at the small table. We talked about the maple and a paper due in 2 weeks. We did not say the word $20,000. We did not say $120,000. We talked like people who live in a house, not like people guarding a museum. When she left, she hugged me without excuse. You're hard, she said. But it feels like a wall I can lean on. It is, I said. Sunday at 7, she called on time. No photos, no meetings, counseling twice, script used 4 times, 1 relapse thought. I drove past the cafe and didn't look in. She smiled, small and proud. I brought pasta to the girls on the porch and didn't stay. Proud of you, I said. Next steps? She asked. It had become a ritual line. Budget draft tomorrow, I said. Counseling Wednesday, Sunday call. We signed off. I stood at the sink with the water running and my mind still. The house hummed. The maple threw street light across the window like the idea of lace. The phone buzzed. A photo appeared. The back table at Woodland Market, empty this time. Then a sentence from a new number as if the old ones had never existed. Clocks make decisions. If the heirloom moves, the appraisal can vanish. Confirm and the past goes quiet. The new text sat on my screen like a thumbprint. Clocks make decisions. If the heirloom moves, the appraisal can vanish. Confirm and the past goes quiet. I put the phone on the table and made coffee. Hot helps when cold ideas try to act warm. I set the mug down and dialed a number I keep for days when I need a grown-up. A lawyer I trust, a friend of a friend, a woman who speaks in nouns. Vivian, she said, what can I do? I want a trust, I said. Irrevocable. Family heirloom in it. Clear terms for stewardship. I keep control while living. On my death, trustees follow my rules. No sales, no liens, no photos on the internet. Simple words, hard edges. She whistled low. You've been thinking. I've been practicing, I said. Now I'm writing it down. We can draft, she said. You'll name trustees? 2, I said. Diane and me while I'm here. After me, a small bank trust officer I can meet and measure. Beneficiary? Leah, I said. Conditional. A steward with duties. If she breaks them, it moves to charity. Jewelry program at a museum. Quietly. She paused. You want discipline to be kindness. I want rails, I said. When can I sign? Tomorrow, she said. Bring ID. Bring your steady hand. I'll bring both, I said. I hung up and sat with the coffee until the steam thinned. Then I called Leah. I'm making a trust, I said. A what? She said, sleep in her voice, hurt behind it. A box on paper that says what happens with the box in the closet, I said. I'm setting rules you can point to when you're mad at me. It protects you from buyers and from your father's shortcuts. It protects me from my own soft spots. Silence then. Does it say I don't get it? It says how you earn it, I said. It says we mean what we said. She exhaled. Okay. There's a meeting, I said. Tomorrow afternoon. You don't need to be there, but you can come and sit in the hall and know. I have class, she said. Text me when you're done. I will, I said. I checked the chain twice, then once more. Morning brought rain the color of metal. At the church door on my way to put a check in the poor box, a woman with hair set like a plan blocked the aisle. Mrs. Hale, she said, we heard about the police. You didn't, call for attention, did you? Attention. I said. Some people make things up for insurance, she said. She smiled with her lips. I'm sure you wouldn't. I wouldn't, I said. I paid $500 to say I wouldn't. Her smile slipped. I didn't mean. You did, I said gently. And now you're done. She backed away, clutching her bulletin like a flag. At the back, the pastor caught my eye and lifted 2 fingers. Peace, prayer, something in between. I lifted mine. I put the check in the slot. I left my dignity where I found it. At noon, the community bank called. Same manager. A new tone. Mrs. Hale, he said. Quick question. We had an information verification ping from a third-party insurance adjuster last week. We rejected it because your file is flagged for you only. Today we got a second ping. Different channel. Same ask. Just confirming this isn't you. It isn't, I said. We'll continue to reject, he said. I can note that you were informed. Note that, I said. And please tell me if any human person walks in and uses my name without my face. We will, he said. We like faces. Me too, I said. I ended the call and dialed Leah. Did your friend mention insurance? I asked. What friend? The sorority one, I said. She said, buyers have helpers, Leah said slowly. People who can make numbers smaller so no one panics. Numbers don't panic, I said. People do. I breathed. If anyone talks to you about me or the bank, you tell me. Then you tell Jenna. Then you don't tell anyone else. Okay, she said. I will. The lawyer's office had soft chairs that made you sit up anyway. She slid the draft across the desk, crisp and black. Hale Family Trust. Legacy Stewardship. She walked me through each page, sentence by short sentence. The words fit in the mouth. The edges were clear. Sign here, she said. And here, she pointed. This part. Stewardship conditions. Read it out loud once. I did. Weekly counseling through 1 calendar year. Sunday calls maintained. Complete transparency of debt until $5,000 is paid. No images. No contact with buyers, brokers, or anyone offering $20,000 for speed. Any violation pauses or ends stewardship. I looked up. Good. And the piece? She asked. Assigned to the trust, I said, held in my safe until I move or die. Then a bank box that needs 2 keys. She nodded. Clear as a church bell. I signed, she witnessed, she stamped. Last thing, she said. I suggest an inventory photo for you. Kept offline. Printed. No digital trail in case of loss. The appraisal has its own photos, I said. They live in a vault. Good, she said. Then this is complete. I folded my copy into a thin envelope. I put it inside my coat and felt it settle like a better spine. I texted Leah. Signed. She replied. Okay. Then. Can I read it? Tomorrow, I wrote. With Jenna. 3 dots. Fair. By late afternoon, the wolf changed his fur again. Another new number. This time, not a nudge. A knife wrapped in cloth. Ma'am, Mrs. Hale, you're being unwise. Public records are not kind to women who invent crime. I can see the municipal docket. False report. $500. Insurance will see it, too. If a claim ever appears, your name will ring. Buyers hate noise. Help me help you. I stared at the glow. I felt my pulse slow, not fast. Some anger tries to run. Mine likes to walk. I typed 1 sentence. Call me now. Then I opened the voice memo app and set it on the table. I said 1 clear line for my own conscience. This call is being recorded for my notes. He picked up on the second ring. Ma'am, he said, smooth. I'm glad you text my granddaughter again and you'll meet women with badges, I said. A small wounded sound. I'm assisting. I'm offering to clean up an appraisal that hurts resale. I'm being helpful. You're being pressure, I said. And you're sloppy. You don't know me. You don't know the rules we live by. I heard a chair creak on his side. I know this. You lied to officers. You paid $500. That's a matter of public record. If this piece ever moves through official channels, that will be a cloud. Discretion is the service I'm offering for free. My clients prefer clean stories. Stories get clean when people tell the whole one, I said. Here's mine. I made a bad call to protect someone. I owned it. I paid for it. It doesn't buy you any lanes in my life. Ma'am, he said, over polite now. I don't need lanes. I need a clasp photo and a box corner tonight. Then I can handle the rest. No, I said. He let a beat sit in the phone like he wanted me to step into it. You have a lot to lose, he said softly. Reputation, Sunday friends, parish talk, asset value. The number worth over $100,000 gets sticky when paired with the word false. You have a habit of walking into rooms you weren't invited to, I said. This is me showing you the door. Vivian, he said, testing my name without permission. You'll call me when the HOA knocks again. When your granddaughter's friends post little hints. When the church lady corners you by the candles. She already did, I said. I kept my dignity. So far, he said. Clocks, remember? They make decisions. I've already made mine, I said and hung up. I saved the recording and named it Mercer Pressure Call. I checked the locks twice, then once more. Leah and Diane came over after dinner. Marcus did not. The house felt warmer for the space. I set the trust on the table. What is it? Leah asked, voice small and bright with nerves. It is the promise with paper, I said. Read the parts with your name. She did. Lips moving, fingers tapping out a rhythm on her thigh that looked like fear skipping rope. It says no contact with buyers, she said. It does, I said. It says no photos, she said. It does, I said. It says if violated, stewardship pauses or ends, she said. It does, I said. She looked up. Ends. Ends, I said gently, firmly, like a door that closes and locks for good, not as punishment, as truth. She sat back. Tears rose fast, the way summer storms do, out of nowhere and then everywhere. You don't trust me, she said. I trust the version of you that wants the long road, I said. I don't trust the version that wants the short one at midnight. Diane cleared her throat. I'll sign as co-trustee, she said. I want rails, too. Leah shook her head. So, the two of you get to decide if I'm good enough. Great. Perfect. I'm 21 and apparently 5. You are 21 and learning, I said. Learning takes walls. Walls keep people out, she snapped. Walls keep people in, I said. They keep them whole. Her jaw set. And what if I refuse? The watch doesn't move, I said. The trust stands. Love keeps. Legacy waits. She stared at the paper like it had insulted her. You recorded him? She said suddenly sharp. You said you were recording for your notes. I said I was recording for my notes, I said. Do you know what state this is? Do you even know if that's legal? I know this, I said. He threatens with public records. I keep my own. She pushed back her chair half an inch and let it scrape. Diane held up a hand. Leah, she said soft. This isn't a trap. It's a map. Maps are for people who don't know where they're going, she said. I know. Then follow it, I said. Her eyes flashed. You want to make me small so I fit your rules. I want you safe so you can grow beyond them, I said. This isn't about shrinking you. It's about keeping you from falling through a hole you can't see yet. She laughed once, short and hard. Whole or safe? Everything is a container with you. Yes, I said. That's why you still have a chance to earn it. She stood. I'm done, she said. Sit, I said. Sign the understanding that you've read it at least. We can argue line by line later. No, she said. You've built a cage and painted it legacy. Diane's voice broke. Leah. She turned to her. You always take her side. I take the side with rails, she said. It's the only one that doesn't end in a ditch. Her face fell, then hardened back into the girl at the restaurant, crown slipping, arms crossed. You know what? She said, and her voice went very calm. Then I'll do it without you. The room went very quiet, the way a room does when 2 sentences have been said and only one belongs. She picked up her bag. She walked to the door. She didn't slam it. That would have been loud. She let it close with the soft click of 2 people hearing different futures. Diane sank into the chair like a woman who had carried a couch upstairs and found the door too small. She'll cool down, she said as if saying it made it so. Maybe, I said. My phone buzzed on the table. A new number. Short sentence. We're almost out of time. A clean clasp photo tonight. Then we keep your $500 from being the first thing any buyer sees. I stood, not fast. I checked the safe twice. Then once more. I looked up at James's portrait and at the underlined word in the letter tucked beneath it. Ready. I picked up the phone. Paul, I typed and then I stopped. I deleted his name. Some words are better spoken. I reached for my coat. I put on my coat. I took it off. I checked the safe twice, then once more. The velvet box was there. The dial sat where I left it. The quiet felt honest. Something else wasn't. On the top shelf of the hall closet, a small velvet box that once held a costume brooch was gone. In the desk drawer, my extra photocopy of the appraisal summary, no serials, just the number and date, was missing from the folder. The letter stayed. Leah knows better than to move the part that can look back. My phone buzzed. Clock hits Friday. After that, chatter goes public. Buyers hate noise. 30 minutes. Back table. I set the phone down. I breathed through my nose. Another buzz from a different number. A screen grab from a campus gossip account. Harbor City drop. Vintage watch. Quick cash. $20,000. DMs only. No names. The caption used words that sounded like Leah's house. I called her. No answer. I called Diane. She's not home, she said. She said she was going to study. She moved a decoy, I said. A what? An empty box, I said. And a partial paper. She thinks she can end this with a trick. She let out a breath that had edges. I'm between my wife and my daughter, she said. You're between your daughter and a ditch, I said. Pick that side. She was quiet. I'm with you, she said. Tell me what to do. Be my witness, I said. No speeches, just eyes. Where? Not yet, I said. I'll call. Leah answered on the third try of the fourth call. Wind on the line. Porch noise. Laughter that wasn't hers. Grandma, she said, tired and wired. I was going to tell you. You moved a decoy, I said. Yes, she said. A box and a copy of the page with the number. No serials. I'm not stupid. Decoys attract hunters, I said. We are not hunting. We are leaving the woods. This ends tonight, she said. I'm done being dragged through rumor. You don't end wolves with an empty box, I said. You end them by closing doors. Doors haven't worked, she said. He keeps finding new ones. Because someone keeps opening them, I said. Your father, your house, you. Silence held. Voices rose and fell behind her. Steps on wood. A girl saying a name like a dare. I talked to Jenna, Leah said. I told her I wanted to take control. She asked if this was control or compulsion. I said both. Then I cried. Then I said, it's a decoy, not the piece. And she said, if I must do something, do it with rails. She said, bring witnesses. She said, pick a public room. She said, tell you. Good counselor, I said. You called me late. I needed to try the sentence first, she said. I have a family agreement. I won't discuss it. Her voice softened. I used it on Dad. He hung up. Good, I said. Now use it on you. A door opened on her end, a chorus of, hey, we're leaving. Leah covered the phone and said something quick. She came back. Meet me, she said. I'll show you the decoy so you can stop worrying. Then we can do this your way. My way is no meeting, I said. But I'll see you front steps, she said. 5 minutes. At the sorority house, girls lined the porch rails like sparrows, phones face up. I don't like audiences for family business, but family business had found an audience without me. Leah came out with her jaw set and a small velvet box in her hand. She saw me, saw the girls, and decided to be brave in front of both. Grandma, she said, and held out the box. I didn't reach for it. Say the rule, I said. She closed her eyes, opened them. My family is handling heirloom business through one channel. Please don't contact me about it. Her voice carried to the railing. A few girls looked down. Good, I said. Now, the other rule. If I'm in the same room as the box, my phone stays in the hall. And papers? I asked. No pictures, she said. Paper lives in a vault. Say it louder, I said. She did. The porch shifted like a cheap boat on small waves. One girl stepped forward. So, is it true? She asked, sugar in her voice and salt under it. Worth over $100,000? Did she lie to the police? Leah's mouth twitched, hunger for a clean clapback. She swallowed it. I have a family agreement, she said. I won't discuss it. Boring, the girl said, but she looked away because people who want mess get bored of clean lines. Leah handed me the decoy box, then flat-palmed, like offering a bird she didn't want to fly away. Inside was costume sparkle and a photocopied corner with a bold number and no serials. Where did you get the copy? I asked. Your desk, she said. I thought if I showed the number, he'd stop saying I'm playing games. You're not playing games, I said. You're in a life. She almost smiled. You always say that when I try to make a plan. I like plans, I said. I don't like plans that feed wolves. A car slowed at the curb. A man leaned to look. Not Mercer. Another face I didn't mind not knowing. He drove on. The porch went back to chatter. Come down, I said. We'll talk in the car. She came halfway down the steps. Marcus appeared in the doorway. His eyes went to the box in my hand, then to Leah's face, then to me. He lifted his chin. You're not humiliating her here, he said. I'm protecting her here, I said. Marcus stepped onto the porch like it was a stage. We had a plan, he said. You had a shortcut, I said. You make everything a cliff, he said. There's a flat path and you refuse it. I refuse a path that leads to a hole, I said. Girls pretended to check their phones while they listened. Leah flushed. Stop, she said, small but sharp. Please, both of you. I looked at Leah. Pick, I said. Inside for noise or the car for quiet. She looked at the door, then at the street. She chose me. She came to the car. Confrontation spent. Not resolved. Banked. We parked 2 blocks away under a maple that was serious about leaves. I opened the decoy box again, then closed it and set it on the dash. Here's what happens, I said. If there is any meeting, it is one we control. Bright room, no back tables, 2 witnesses. Diane and who? She asked. Rita, I said. She knows all the faces that pass through Woodland Market. Or the parish hall custodian. Or both. I like redundancy. Leah breathed in and out the way a runner does when they agree to finish the hill. Okay, she said. You text the buyer 1 line, I said. From my phone. Family handles all heirloom business. 1 channel. If you want to talk to Vivian. Then you block. Then you set your phone down. He'll ignore it, she said. I don't care what he does, I said. I care what you do. She nodded. She watched her hands. Jenna said I had a pattern, she said. She said I do things at night to fix feelings I had in the day. Night is where shortcuts hide, I said. She also said I keep trying to be the hero, Leah said. I want to be the one who ends it so people stop looking at you. She asked if that was love or pride. I said yes. I let that sit. What else did she ask? She asked if I trust you, Leah said. I said yes and also no. I trust that you love me. I don't always trust that you see me as more than a problem to solve. And then I felt bad for saying it. You don't have to feel bad for the truth, I said. It hurt and helped. That is how truth works. She looked at the decoy box. We're still doing it, she asked. We're doing a meeting on our terms, I said. If he shows, he shows. If he doesn't, we close the door another way. She nodded. Tonight. No, I said. Tomorrow. Daylight. 4 o'clock. Grace Community Church. I'll ask the pastor if we can sit in the outer room. People can see us. No one can act small. Okay, she said. I'll tell Diane, I said. She stands where she can see both doors. And Dad, she said. He can come if he sits and keeps his hands in his lap, I said. Leah snorted. That'll go well. We'll give him a chair, I said. Chairs help. The HOA sent a second letter that afternoon. Special session, pattern of disturbances. As if a rumor counted as a police report. The chair called me to ensure transparency. Bring your documentation, he said. I have 3 documents, I said. A receipt for $500, a trust, and a letter from my husband with 1 underlined word. He paused. We don't need personal letters, he said, flustered by the idea that something human might visit his folding table. You asked for steps I've taken to ensure safety, I said. Words are steps. He coughed. Thursday 6. Thank you for your diligence. Dull is the goal, I said. I stopped by Woodland Market to ask Rita if she would pour coffee tomorrow in the parish hall kitchen. She smiled. The kind of smile that says she already knew what I would ask. I'll be there, she said. You want me to call the minute anything looks off? Yes, I said. And you want me to wear the green apron or the red? The red, I said. He'll remember green from the cafe. She tilted her head. He's not dumb. He thinks we are, I said. That helps. She pursed her lips. You be careful. I'm bringing Diane, I said. And a custodian with a key to everything. Good shoes, she said. Truth needs them. Night fell the way it does when a day has carried too much. Fast without more to say. Leah texted a single line from my phone as planned. Family handles all heirloom business. One channel. Talk to Vivian. He replied from a new number. Vivian is welcome. Back table, 4, or the hall. Your call, but clocks make decisions. I set the phone face down and left it. At 10 o'clock, the parish pastor answered my message with a thumbs up and a note. Outer room reserved. Side door open. I'll be in my office if needed. At 11, Diane texted. I'll stand by the east door. I won't talk unless you tell me to. At midnight, Marcus sent Leah a paragraph about being overly theatrical. Leah didn't respond. She sent me a screenshot and a single word. Help. We have a chair for him, I typed. If he can't sit in it, he doesn't come. Fair. Leah wrote. Morning came. Leah called on time. Jenna says I should write down what I want, she said. Not just what I don't. What do you want? I asked. I want my name back, she said. Not the girl with the rumor. Not the girl with the porch. Just Leah. I want to earn Grandpa's promise. You will, I said. By noon and by Sunday. Then again. We hung up. I checked the safe twice, then once more. On the porch, the neighbor with opinions leaned over her railing. Big day, she asked. Small steps, I said. That's not what the committee said, she said. Committees are loud, I said. Steps are quiet. She blinked, not sure if she'd been agreed with or dismissed. At lunch, Diane met me at the parish hall. We walked the outer room together. Windows, doors, light. We set 2 chairs at one table and 2 at another. Rita arrived with a red apron and a bag of paper cups. East door sticks, the custodian said. Kick it if you need me. I prefer turning handles, I said. At 3, Marcus texted Leah. I'm coming. I'll sit. I won't talk. 10 minutes later. But if he lies about what he can do, I'll speak. Leah showed me the messages without comment. At 3:30, a campus account posted a new story. Today, 4 p.m. Harbor City history changes hands. A blurry photo of the parish hall from the sidewalk. No faces. Gossip is a camera that doesn't know what it's looking at. Public deadline, I said. Predictable. Leah arrived at 3:40 with her hair pulled back and clean shoes. She looked like a person who had slept and a person who hadn't. Both can be true. You ready? I asked. She nodded. Ready, she said, and then touched the word like a stone in her pocket. Marcus came in at 3:45, lips pressed into good behavior, eyes bright with ideas. He sat in the chair I pointed to. He put his hands in his lap. They did not stay. At 3:59, my phone buzzed on the table. Here, the message said. No name. A picture of the east door, the handle, the shadow of a man's shoulder. Diane shifted her weight so she faced that door. I looked at Leah. Breathe, I said. She did. The east door opened with a sound like a thought changing its mind. Footsteps. The room's hum went smaller. Paul Mercer stepped in, smile tidy, shirt pressed. He looked at the chairs, at the light, at Rita's red apron. He did not look surprised. Mrs. Hale, he said as if we were neighbors deciding about a fence. Leah. Marcus. He nodded to each. He didn't nod to Diane. He should have. He set his phone on the table. He kept his hands where people who like to look helpful keep their hands. We're here to end noise, he said. And do something kind. I opened my mouth. Before I could speak, Leah's phone lit in her bag. She looked down, then up at me, eyes wide. A single line glowed on the screen she could not unsee. If you don't come alone, the number goes loud. Last chance. Her throat moved. She didn't touch the phone. Don't, I said softly. We are already here. Mercer smiled at Leah's face, not at my words. Clocks, he said gently. They make decisions. Leah's hand hovered over the bag. The whole room leaned an inch, the way rooms do when someone stands on the edge of a small, dangerous thing. She made her choice. Her fingers left the bag. She looked at me, then at Diane, then at Marcus. She breathed like a runner at a finish line she could not see yet. I'm not alone, she said. Clear. Even Mercer's smile flickered. The room got brighter. He picked up his phone. He typed something with 2 thumbs. Leah's phone buzzed. Mine did too. I looked. A campus account post fresh at the top. Harbor City Heirloom worth over $100,000 hidden after false police call. $500 fine. Story at 5. Public, fast, cheap. Marcus stood half an inch, then sat because I didn't move. Diane's jaw set. Rita's hand went to her apron tie. Leah stared at the screen like it was a mirror that had finally told the truth about a bruise. Her phone vibrated again, a private text from a number with no name. Meet me tonight. I'm ending this. The room changed when the post went live. Not louder, thinner, as if the air had been cut with a dull knife. Leah stared at her screen. Harbor City Heirloom worth over $100,000 hidden after false police call. $500 fine. Story at 5. Marcus made a small sound. Diane didn't. Leah's phone buzzed again. A private text. No name. Meet me tonight. I'm ending this. Leah looked at me, not the message. I'm ending this, she said. Aloud, not a whisper, a choice. Not alone, I said. Not alone, she repeated. Mercer watched our faces like a man taking notes at a play. Everyone loves a finale, he said softly. He smiled as if he owned the word. We're done for today, I said. You'll leave now. He tilted his head. We already left, he said. The story is out. Rita stepped from the kitchen doorway, red apron like a flag you can't ignore. She set a paper cup on the table with the neat clack of a woman who has spent years putting things in the right place. Coffee's cold, she said to no one and everyone. You should go. Mercer's smile narrowed. He gathered his phone. Tonight then, he said to Leah. You know where. I do, she said, and did not look away from me. And it's not there. He lingered a beat, measuring. Then he left by the east door that sticks. Diane did not move her weight. The door opened anyway. Marcus exhaled as if he'd been holding his breath for a year. That was ugly and small, I said. We'll make the next part bright. Leah's jaw worked. Tonight, she said again. Grace Community Church. Not cafe, I said. Pastor in his office. Rita in the kitchen. Diane at the door. She glanced at Marcus. If you come, you sit. You don't talk. Marcus's mouth opened, closed. Fine, he said. I'll sit. Rita wiped the table with a damp towel that smelled faintly of lemon. I'll put on a fresh pot, she said. Truth drinks coffee. At home, I checked the safe twice, then once more. The box was where it belonged. I put James's letter in my coat pocket, the trust in my inner pocket. I set my phone on the table and called the pastor. Outer room, he said. Lights bright. I'll stay close, not in the scene. If you need me, you open the office door. I'll come. Thank you, Father, I said. Small rooms hold big mercies, he said. I called Diane. You stand at the east door, I said. I know that door, she said. It sticks. You kick it if it needs to, I said. I'll turn the handle, she said. I texted Leah one line. We set the place. You set your voice. Okay, she wrote. Then. Bring the paper. I knew which one. Both, I wrote, and slid my hand over the letter in my pocket like a woman checking for keys. Evening wore the city down to its lights. The parish hall smelled like pine cleaner and old laughter. Rita boiled water. The custodian checked outlets. The pastor left his office door ajar. Leah arrived first. She wore the simple coat that has nothing to say. Her hair was pulled back. The look I use when I want the day to judge me fairly. You ready? I asked. She touched her pocket as if the word lived there. Ready, she said. Diane came quiet and large. She took her post by the east door and tested the handle with a firm hand. I won't talk unless you nod, she said. Good, I said. Marcus slipped in last, face composed, hands too still. He took the chair I'd placed beside the wall. He folded his fingers together so tightly the knuckles went white. At 7 on the dot, the outer door clicked. Footsteps. Mercer, pressed and pleasant as if walking into a fundraiser. He took in the light, the chairs, Diane's stance, Rita's apron, the open office door. He adjusted nothing, including his smile. Neighborly, he said. I like it. We're done with back tables, I said. Sit. He did, leaving a chair between himself and Leah as if he were polite. He placed his phone face down. He placed his hands palm up so we could see they were empty. It was theater. He likes theater. Here's how this goes, I said. You leave tonight without a photo, without a promise, and without a reason to contact anyone in this family again. You do that quietly. He smiled at me as if I were rehearsing a line he'd given me. I'm a listener, he said. Say your piece. I set the thin envelope on the table. He glanced at it and looked away, thinking it was money. I shook my head. Paper, I said. The only thing we trade tonight is paper. I slid one page out. Hale Family Trust. Legacy Stewardship. The simple black title, words you can say out loud. This is where the heirloom lives now, I said. Not in a private person's pocket. In a trust with conditions. It cannot be sold. It cannot be pawned. It cannot be moved without 2 keys and 2 names. If anyone tries to make a market, they will find nothing to buy. Mercer's eyes flicked. People always find something to buy. Not this, I said. We didn't come to bargain. We came to close doors. Marcus shifted. Leah did not. She looked at the page like it was a window, and she was choosing whether to look out or in. Mercer tapped the table with one finger. Light, in a rhythm I'd heard in cafes and parking lots and on porches when men pushing luck pretend to be tapping time. Trusts can be undone, he said. Not this one, I said. Irrevocable, clear terms. If broken, the piece moves to a museum's jewelry program. Quietly, no sale, no money, just gone from us. Something crossed his face then. Not alarm. A slight annoyance as at a locked gate. You're punishing her with a museum. I'm protecting her from you, I said. Leah put a hand on the edge of the paper. She didn't move it. She needed to touch something that wouldn't change shape. Mercer tried the soft tone again. Leah, he said, voice low. I'm offering relief. You walk today with $20,000. No more porch whispers. No more $500 rumors. I can keep worth over $100,000 from haunting future searches. You get to breathe. Leah turned her head. I get to breathe now, she said plain. I don't want you. His smile thinned. You don't know the trouble you invited with that call to the police. I took my phone out and set it next to the paper. I tapped the voice memo labeled Mercer Pressure Call. I didn't press play. I let the title sit between us like a middle name he didn't want called in public. He didn't flinch. He has practiced not flinching. Everyone keeps records, he said. Small shrug. Good, I said. We brought ours. Rita cleared her throat and stepped once closer. And I brought mine, she said. You bought a round for college girls last month and told the cashier you love helping with family heirlooms. I was the cashier. She tapped her apron. Red means I remember faces. Marcus's hands went tighter. Leah's mouth twitched, not a smile. Something like courage deciding whether to stand. Mercer tried a different door. Marcus, he said. Gentle. You and I had a very reasonable conversation about what discretion looks like. We can be reasonable again. Marcus's eyes flicked to me, then to Leah, then back to him. I watched the argument rise and fall in him like a wave that can't decide to break. Say it, I told him. He swallowed. I thought I was protecting my daughter, he said. I wasn't. He faced Leah now. I told him the appraisal made me nervous. I told him you were drowning. I gave him my number and said we needed to keep it discreet. I opened the door. Silence sat down. Leah kept her face still. She had practiced. I'm sorry, Marcus said. The words were small and finally true. I put you in a room with a wolf and called it a meeting. Mercer shook his head as if the metaphor disappointed him. I'm no wolf, he said. I'm a broker. Rita made a small rude noise the church roof could forgive. Leah, I said. You have one thing to say to him. Then you're done. Leah looked at Mercer and at her own hands and then at me. She pushed her chair back and stood. She did not wobble. I'm sorry, she said, and I felt my chest go tight and then open because she was aiming the word the right direction. Grandma. Mom. She looked at Diane and at me like a ship looking at two lighthouses. I'm sorry I tried to fix this in the dark. I'm sorry I took your paper. I'm sorry I made you lie and then lived under the lie you had to pay for. I'm sorry I let his number feel like an answer. She took a breath. I was scared. I still am, but I don't want to be the person who runs when clocks talk. Diane's face went wet and proud without either asking permission. She nodded once. That was all. Leah turned back to Mercer. Her voice was steady. Don't text me again, she said. My family handles heirloom business through one channel. Talk to Vivian. Mercer's eyes went to me and found nothing soft there. He tried one more trick because that is what men like him do when the room finally won't bend. You can't keep the internet from saying worth over $100,000, he said. You can't scrub false police call and $500 from your name. You can make one choice tonight that makes the future clean. Or you can live in this mess. The internet doesn't sign our papers, I said. We do. He stood. He put his hands in his pockets. He looked at the pastor's office door, open an inch. He looked at Diane's shoulders. He looked at Rita's apron. He calculated and found no sale. Clocks, he said, almost kind. They'll make you wish. Leave, I said. He left. The east door didn't stick for him. Sometimes doors do that when a room is finished with a person. We all let out air we hadn't known we held. The light seemed warmer, as if the bulbs had decided to be on our side. The pastor stepped out of his office and said nothing important. Good night, he said. Let me lock up when you're done. He looked at Leah. Your voice carried. Thank you, she said. Too shy for more. Enough, he said. Rita handed Leah a napkin for nothing in particular. Sugar? She asked, already pouring. Leah took the cup, her hands steadied. I need to do one more thing, she said to me. Not to him, to you. What thing? I asked. She reached into her bag and took out the small velvet decoy. She set it on the table and opened it so the cheap stones looked honest and small. Beneath them lay the photocopied corner she had taken from my desk. No serials, just the big number. I brought back what I took, she said. All of it. I closed the lid. Thank you. I want to go to the safe, she said. Tonight. I want to watch you close it. Then I want to sign the part of the trust that says I read it and I understand it, even if I don't like all of it. Good, I said. Marcus spoke, voice careful. as if touching a bruise on his own body. I'll sign a separate paper, he said. No contact, no photos, no deals. If I break it, I'm out of the conversation. He swallowed. I made this worse. I see that now. Thank you, I said. I meant it. The words didn't make it better. They made it possible. Diane came around the table and put a hand on Leah's shoulder. She didn't say proud. She didn't need to. Leah leaned into the weight like a beam finding the right wall. I want to do one more thing, Leah said, voice small. Before we go. What? I asked. She put both hands on the trust and pushed it an inch toward me. Read me the line again, she said, so I hear it out loud. I read, love gives. Legacy is earned. James's letter in my pocket warmed like it had a small pulse. Leah nodded. Okay, she said. Then I choose the long road. Marcus closed his eyes. When he opened them, there was a man in there who might learn. We cleaned the cups. We turned off the extra lights. We told the pastor good night. The custodian kicked the east door once because he likes to. Outside, the air felt new, not clean, used well. At home, we stood in the hall. I opened the closet. I turned the dial. The safe door slid the way it does when a thing decides to be ordinary and holy at once. I checked it twice, then once more. Leah watched like a student who knows the test isn't today, but will come. We sat at the table. I slid the trust to her and put a pen beside it. She read the parts with her name. She signed an acknowledgement. Read and understood. Diane signed as witness. Marcus signed his separate paper, hands shaking enough to make the lines look like a road on a map drawn by a car in the rain. I took James's letter from my pocket. I didn't read it. I set it between us. The underlined word glowed without light. Grandma, Leah said, voice quiet as a lamp set low. Yes. She looked at the safe. She looked at the paper. She looked at me. Do I still get a future with it? Graduation crept closer the way good weather does. Quiet, steady, a little unbelieved until it arrives. Leah kept the Sunday calls, 7 on the dot. She kept counseling every week. She brought me her budget once a month, not as a performance, but as a thing that lives. Card A, 0, she said one night in April. Card B, 0. Card C, autopay clears the last $200 on Friday. Say the total, I said, so the air could hear it. She smiled. The small one that earns itself. $5,000 gone. Good, I said. Your shoulders look different. They feel like I took off a wet coat, she said. We didn't cheer. We just looked at the screen and let the number sit. Smaller now than the person saying it. The HOA chair sent me a letter with an apology baked in without butter. Notice. No further action. Plain type. A box checked. A line that said, thanks for your diligence. The neighbor with opinions waved from her porch one morning. A wave that tried to say, I never doubted you, and failed. I waved back the way you do for dogs and people who bark less when you're calm. At church, the woman with the set hair caught me by the candles. Mrs. Hale, she said, cheeks pink. I spoke out of turn about insurance. I'm sorry. I accept, I said. Let's both light one for people who guess too much. We lit too. She cried a little. We pretended we didn't notice. Sergeant Alvarez called on a Tuesday. Mrs. Hale, he said. Off the record, we had a friendly conversation with a man whose name has crossed our desk. Sometimes a chat is all that's needed. Thank you, I said. Keep your paperwork neat, he said. You've done that. I like neat, I said. After we hung up, I labeled the folder Heirloom, Final Steps, and felt something inside me put down a set of keys. Marcus came to a Sunday call and sat on the edge of the frame, hands folded like a person asking for a turn. I signed the paper, he said. No contact, no photos, no deals. I meant it. You've kept it, I said. Thank you. He looked at Leah, then at me. I'm working on saying fewer numbers out loud, he said, and almost laughed at himself. It's hard. I like numbers. They make me feel like I'm helping. Sometimes helping is a quiet chair, I said. He nodded. I can do that. He swallowed. Leah, I'm sorry about the cafe. Leah looked at the screen and gave her father a small nod that looked like a seed. Thank you, she said. Jenna, the counselor, asked me to come in for 10 minutes in May. She had Leah's permission. I sat in the soft chair and kept my feet flat because posture helps truth. Jenna glanced at Leah, then at me. We're doing endings, Jenna said, and beginnings. Leah wrote down the rails that helped. She also wrote down one sentence she wants from you, not a rule. Permission. Leah handed me a small card. I am more than a problem to solve. I read it twice. You are, I said. You're a person I love. Leah looked down and wiped her face like she'd practiced being honest about tears. Jenna smiled. That will do, she said. 2 weeks before graduation, a girl on Leah's porch said the quiet part out loud in a voice built for a crowd. Is it true your grandma hid something worth over $100,000 and called the police to make it dramatic? She said, eyes shiny with somebody else's story. And paid $500 for lying? Leah didn't look at me. She didn't look at the girl. She used her script the way carpenters use a level, gently to keep walls straight. My family is handling Heirloom business through one channel, she said. I won't discuss it. The girl rolled her eyes. Boring. Stable, Leah said softly and went inside. That night on the call, she told me it hurt and also felt good. It's heavy to be boring, she said. It's strong, I said. Boring keeps roofs on houses. I kept my rituals. I turned the dial. I checked the door twice, then once more. The trust sat where paper sits and did its job without applause. One afternoon, I took the letter from James and read it in the quiet. Love gives. Legacy is earned. I said it out loud, even though the house already knew. Graduation week arrived in a city that does spring like a matched set. Trees full, sidewalks swept. Young faces surprised the world kept going while they studied. Leah came over with a dress she'd bought second-hand and 3 questions. Can I wear the watch to dinner? She asked. No, I said. Not yet. Can I hold the box while we read the letter? She asked. Yes, I said. Under my roof. Can you sit next to me at graduation? She asked and then laughed. Kidding. That would be weird. It would, I said. I'll stand on the sidewalk and clap like a woman who's good at clapping. We made spaghetti because we both like it and because it puts everyone at the table without debate. Diane brought bread. Marcus brought a salad and used the small plates without me asking, which is another way to say we were all learning. After dinner, I set the velvet box on the table, but didn't open it. I put James's letter beside it. The way you put the map next to the road. Leah folded her hands, not like prayer, more like a person keeping steady. Read, she said. I read it. The words still fit in the mouth. When I came to the underlined part, Leah closed her eyes and nodded once. Grandpa liked rules, she said, not unkind. He liked dignity, I said. Rules are how he kept it when the weather turned. We sat a minute in the quiet that follows a good sentence. Then Leah reached toward the box and stopped. Say it, I said. What you want. I want to be steward, she said. Not owner, not girl with a rumor. I want to be the person who watches without grabbing. How will you know you are? I asked. She took a breath, counted on her fingers. I keep counseling another month after graduation. I keep Sunday calls for 12 more weeks, even if I move. I keep the one-channel rule. I don't wear it in public until you say so. She looked up. And I pay forward $2,000 to someone who needs to get out of a spring break mistake. Diane made a small sound in her throat that was half laugh, half pride. Marcus pressed his napkin to his eyes and didn't apologize. Good rails, I said. Add one more. Leah waited. If someone offers $20,000 in a whisper, I said. You tell me and then you tell Jenna, even if you already told me. She smiled, and this one wasn't small. Deal. I opened the safe. I checked the contents with my eyes and my hand. I brought the box back and put it between us. I didn't open it. Tonight, I said, you may hold it while you read the letter again. Then it goes back. After the summer, if the rails hold, we'll make a date for you to wear it in this house for 1 hour. We'll call it a practice of stewardship, not a show. Leah nodded. That's enough, she said. More than enough. She lifted the box with both hands, the way people lift things that matter. Centered, careful, without fear of dropping, and without pretending it's light. She read the letter again. She set them both down and didn't reach a second time. I watched, not because I didn't trust her, but because watching is part of the trust. Marcus cleared his throat. I have a thing to say, he said. He looked at Leah, not me. I wanted the fast answer because I hate the feeling of being judged. I tried to skip steps and called it care. He held Leah's gaze. You didn't just earn the heirloom. You earned my respect. I'm following your rails, too. Leah nodded. Thanks, Dad. Diane squeezed my shoulder. Mom, she said. You were the wall I leaned on when I didn't like the wall. She grinned. That sentence makes sense to me. It does, I said. The day before graduation, Leah and I walked the campus path between the library and the brick building with the counseling office. Students in gowns took photos in bunches. One girl asked Leah to take a picture of her with friends. Leah did and didn't mention anything heavy. Light can be honest without being loud. On the way back to the car, a boy with a skateboard slowed and nodded at Leah. Hey, he said. Heard you told someone to stop talking about your business on the porch. That was cool. Leah blinked. She smiled. Thanks, she said. After he rolled away, she looked at me, surprised. Good shoes, I said. What? Truth, I said. It wears them. She shook her head and laughed. You and Rita, she said. We reached the car. Leah put her hand on the door and then on my arm. Can we read it once more? She asked. Not because I forgot. Because I want to hear it in the air before tomorrow. We sat on the front steps of the chapel and read the letter again. People walked around us. No one asked what we were doing. The underlined word felt like it had been waiting to be spoken on those steps. Ready, she said. I like hearing it there. Me too, I said. Graduation day was bright and a little windy, the kind that lifts corners of programs and makes tassels think they can fly. I found a spot by a maple and clapped like a woman who practices. Leah crossed the stage with her shoulders back. She didn't search for me with her eyes. She knew where I'd be. That evening, we had a small dinner at home. No crown, no chorus, just forks on plates and the people who'd been in the rooms that mattered. After dessert, I set the velvet box on the table. I didn't open it. Before anything else, I said, we name what happened this year. Leah went first. I took something, she said. I hid in a basement. I let a man think he could make me quiet. I tried a decoy. Then I told the truth and didn't run when clocks talked. Diane said, I stood by a door and didn't talk. She smiled. I like that one. Marcus said, I broke a promise. Then I made a smaller one and kept it. He squeezed Leah's hand. I'm proud of that even if it took too long. I said, I lied once to protect you. And I paid $500 to write it down. I won't do that again. I built rails. You walked them. You kept Sunday. Leah looked at the safe, at the box, at me. So, do I still get a future with it? She asked, the same words from the parish hall, but this time they didn't sound scared. Yes, I said. On paper, in practice, not as a prize, as a job. She smiled. Steward, she said, liking the weight of the word. Steward, I said back. I opened the box. The watch caught the light without bragging. We didn't pass it around. We didn't lift it. We let it sit like a person at a table who doesn't need to talk to be known. Next Sunday 7, I said. We keep the call until August. Then we'll make a new plan. 7, Leah said. I'll be there. She stood to go wash dishes. She didn't reach for the box on purpose. Marcus followed with plates. Diane carried glasses. The house sounded like a house. I slid the watch back into the safe. I turned the dial. I listened to the clicks. I checked the door twice, then once more. At the table, I folded James's letter and put it away. I held the velvet box in my palm a second longer than I needed to and felt the ordinary pulse of my hand around something that outlasts it. I closed my hand over the box and said his name. James. Summer folded into habit. Sunday stayed at 7. Leah kept counseling an extra month because she said the quiet after graduation felt too big to walk alone. Then she kept our calls because she liked the way a small box of time could hold a whole week. The HOA sent a final letter with a better sentence. Notice no further action. Rescinded. I pinned it to the corkboard for a day, then put it in the folder marked Heirloom, Final Steps. Paper sits better than talk. At church, the woman with the set hair stopped me by the candles again. I told 3 people I was wrong, she said. It took all week. We lit one for stubbornness that learns. Sergeant Alvarez rang once more. Just to close the loop, he said. We had a word with a man who likes to broker in back corners. He'll be choosing brighter rooms for a while. No case, no headlines, only a note in a system and a name crossed off a desk. That is how some storms end. Not with thunder, with paperwork. Rita gave me bread on a Tuesday and said, he hasn't been in. She wiped the counter with the confidence of a person whose apron keeps its color. If he comes, he pays before he talks. We laughed. It felt like a door locking. Marcus kept his smaller promise. No contact, no photos, no deals. Sometimes he would start to say a number and catch himself, and we would both grin like kids who remembered the rule. He liked the rule now because it kept shame out of his throat. In August, Leah brought me proof of the last rail she chose herself. A receipt that said $2,000 sent to the university's emergency fund. Spring break mistakes, she said. Some girl like me will need it. We put the slip in the folder. She didn't post about it. That's how gifts know they're gifts. Rumor did what rumor does when it can't find food. It went thin, then boring, then gone. Once outside Woodland Market, a girl from Leah's house asked too sweetly, so could you have gotten, I don't know, maybe $20,000 if you'd been quick? Leah smiled like she'd found her shoes by the door. I have a family agreement, she said. I won't discuss it. The girl rolled her eyes and rolled away. Weather. We kept our small rituals. I turned the dial. I checked the door twice, then once more. Once when the maple dropped early leaves, Leah said, you know, you don't have to say that out loud. I'm not saying it for the safe, I said. She understood. On a Sunday in late September, Leah came with a second-hand blazer and a notebook. New job tomorrow, she said. Entry-level, decent boss, ugly carpet. She laughed. We read James's letter together. When we reached the underlined word, Leah touched the page, then touched the closed velvet box and didn't open it. Ready, she said. Ready, I said back. That night, after the dishes, Diane stood with me in the hall while the house settled. She looked at the portrait and then at the safe. You ever think about changing the ritual? She asked. No, I said. It changed us. She nodded. Fair. Before bed, I put one more sheet in the folder. HOA. No further action, rescinded. And wrote a small line on a sticky note for myself because I like to see truth in my own hand. Love gives. Legacy is earned. Quiet keeps it. I stuck it inside the door of the safe where only I would read it. In the morning, Leah texted a picture of a hallway with that ugly carpet and a thumb half in frame. First day, she wrote. 7 tonight. I wrote back 7 and set my phone face down the way a woman does when she trusts time. I checked the safe twice, then once more. The click felt ordinary and holy. The maple outside let go of one leaf and then another, and the house took a breath you could almost hear. If this story resonated with you, leave a like and consider subscribing. You can also drop any comment below, even just one word. Maybe tell me where you're watching from or what time it is right now. Sometimes one word is enough to say you were here.